decided to make a quick video about a child who pushed another child, and I'll just let you guys watch it and then I'll come back and share my thoughts.
Why would someone do that?
Someone do that.
Williams, why did you laugh?
Because it was funny. Why did you do that?
The baby fell down.
Oh.
What do you think about that baby being pushed down? Williams.
It is a little funny.
It was a little funny.
Yes. You should laugh like...
That baby had bruises.
Oh.
Well, what do you think the mom should do to the boy who was being mean?
Tell him stop. Never, ever do it again.
Never.
Right.
No, I have another thing they should do.
What should they do?
Stop it! Never ever do that again!
That's how my kids react to something like that, because you cannot hit another child. Like, totally unacceptable. Like, no. Autism or not, you just cannot. And you know what pains my heart is when parents just use the word autism and think that that makes everything okay. No, it doesn't.
This is a story time on our 1-year-old getting shoved. We decided to walk our 2 dogs while my husband took care of the kids. And my husband was taking lots of videos and pictures. And that's whenever he captured this kid just walking up to our son and shoving him. And when I got back around to the splash pad, I see my husband holding our teary-eyed son, and I asked him what was wrong, and he said that he was shoved and hit the ground, and Mama Bear came out, and I was like, who? Mom finally comes up and picks up her son, and I asked, is this your son? She said yes, and I tried showing her the video, and I said, your son just shoved our son really hard to the ground. And she said, he's nonverbal, he doesn't know. And was pretty dismissive about the whole situation.
This is what makes people look at us and be like, oh yeah, everybody's child is on the spectrum now. That's why people say it, because they feel like it's our way of taking whatever we want, not being accountable for things, and just using autism as an excuse. The same way you do not want to hit your child, nobody wants their child hit. Not by an adult and not by a child. Nobody wants anybody pushing their children, okay? This is totally unacceptable. Like, you cannot just say, my child is nonverbal, he's autistic, and that's it. Like, she did not even apologize. I wish I had like more tips to give to this parent, because I know that she needs it. But I can't really give tips on a child that I know nothing about. And that's why the first thing I preach is spend time with your child. Especially if your child has special needs, you have to spend time with your child. You have to find out what they like. You have to find out what consequence is best as a punishment. You have to, because they need consequences. Kids need consequences. Please, if you don't believe kids need consequences, don't come and be writing your comments for me, because I'm not even going to read them. You know, I really don't read negative comments, but go ahead and write anyway. Just pour out your heart. It's fine. Go ahead. Do what you want. But the truth is, kids need consequences, because life is about choices and consequences. That's life, okay? Whether you're a child, whether you're old, doesn't matter. That's just the rule of life. I'm hoping that mom did something. I don't want to use the word punish, because then people are like, oh, you don't punish children. Blah, blah, blah. But you have to punish bad behaviors, okay? I'm hoping that she did that, so that next time he knows not to do that again, because you don't want to be pushing people's children, please. Like, seriously, you love your child so much. Just assume that the same way you love your child is the same way other people love their children, okay? Maybe engage your child in, because clearly that boy has a lot of energy, so maybe engage your child in some kind of sporting activity. Maybe that's where he gets his energy out. So So when you're going out to places like a splash pad or a park where there are other kids, you can say things like, remember, we don't use our hands. We only use our hands for baseball or for football, whatever sport he's doing. So now you can say something like that. Let's save pushing and all of that for that sport. Well, it has to be a sport that allows pushing, right? Or something like that. So one consequence could be you saying to your child, hey, listen, because you go out there and you hit kids and you're not listening to me, you have to stay home until you show me that you can play without being violent, or you can play without pushing other children. And I hate to say that, but because I feel like for autistic children, you have to take them out more to get used to the process of being outside. I feel like keeping them at home and isolating them is like the worst thing you can do. And I'm advocating people taking the autistic kids out, and that's what my whole channel is about. Like, don't hide your autistic children. Take them out, bring them out. Don't be ashamed of them. And over time, they will get better with the way they interact with other people. But the thing is, if your kid is hitting other children and you don't know how to stop your child from doing it, then that might just be one consequence. Like, you'd be like, and it's not to hold them off from going out forever. It's just to see if that works as a consequence. Especially if they like to go out to play, to the park, to the splash pad and all of that. If you use that as a consequence and say, hey, listen, because you pushed someone or you were mean to that kid, I can't take you this time. So maybe show me in the next few days that you can play without doing that, and then I can take you. And even if your child is nonverbal, your child understands what you're saying, depending on the age of the child, of course. Again, you have to know your child to know how to communicate these things to them. And then the way to see if your child can actually control themselves better is to maybe role play, maybe with their siblings or maybe with neighbors or relatives that don't mind being pushed. But people who love your child and understand your child, you can have role plays like that and just actually watch to see how he does with those people. And if he does better, then you know that, okay, he's ready to go out there for you to try it again. If you're not getting therapy, you need to get therapy for your child. If your child is autistic, you need to get therapy. And even if your child is not violent at this time, you don't know when it will happen. Because children with autism, if they don't know how to, especially if they're nonverbal, if they don't know how to communicate and all of that, they want to communicate some way. They want to let it out some way. Okay, so you need to provide therapy so that you can learn other forms of communication, whether it's sign language, or you give them a communication device, or you use visuals, drawings, or whatever. But you have to find a way for your child to be able to communicate their feelings. Okay, you need therapy, please. If you've tried therapy and everything else, and your child still goes around pushing people, maybe your child needs to be in a facility where they can be handled. Because you cannot have people being scared around your child. I mean, what else are we supposed to do? This is crazy. You cannot say because your child is autistic, it's okay for him to push other people's children around. No, it is not. And again, like I said, and I know people are going to hate me for this, if your child is like a lost cause and there's nothing you can do and they just go around being a nuisance and being violent and destroying people's properties and all of that, then they should be in an institution. I said it. I'm sorry. They should. They should. There's nothing you can do about it. But it's best for your child because clearly they're crying for help. If your child is going around pushing people and destroying things, they're crying for help. And I'm not talking about this little boy because it's still a baby, but I'm talking about like even the adults, the autistic adults that are grown and going around wreaking havoc. Okay, those people, if they're getting therapy and they still can't be helped, they need to be in a facility that can help them. And I'm sorry if this is you. I don't mean to come off as harsh or anything like that. I'm sorry if you're going through something like this with your family. I'm sorry if your child is someone like this. But think about it. Maybe a facility is what they need, and maybe it will help them. What do you guys think? If you have a better suggestion, please leave it in the comments. Let me know. Things like, he's a child, how horrible is that? That's not a solution. You're thinking about your child, but you're not thinking about the other people. Okay, you guys have a nice day. I didn't mean to offend anyone. If I did offend you, I'm sorry. This is just me sharing my thoughts, and like I said, I would like to hear yours.